Hello guys and welcome to HRL Season 5 Grand Finals Race number 2, Moto 2. Here we go. This is going to be the final Moto of Season 5. Wave your hands, goodbye. Season 5 is about to end. Sad, sad, sad. Whatever, whatever. Here we go. Race about to start. And there we go, green flag for a very interesting Moto, I'm sure, here at Twisted Circuit GP. I think it's going to be interesting because we've got the field inverted, and on this track, I think that might shake things up a ton. I think that these slower runners in the first Moto have a good potential at like getting a solid finish, like maybe a top 5 finish in this Moto because of the invert. I think they're going to have a very, very solid chance at making some big grounds. So keep an eye out for one of those drivers to do something big. And I think that some of them, I think Justice in particular has already fallen out, but we still got Hunter and Opix in the top 3, and they're going to be in the top 3 at the conclusion of the first lap of Moto 2, so that's looking good for them so far. I think one of those drivers will get a top 5. They should. At least one of them should get a top 5 in this for sure. Oh, Hunter with a crazy move! And Slaunch is going to get just manhandled around and falls out. This is not looking good. This is the absolute worst crash you could see for him. Loses tons of time, and that opens up maybe a chance of an upset again. Most likely not. Like I said, I explained it after the heat win. And especially with the fact that Detail only finished ahead of him by 1 position in the last race, still probably not going to happen. Unfortunately, we had a crazy comeback last season where it was actually close. I still don't think that this is that close, really. I think that this is a lot less close than last season. So even with that crazy crash, probably finish last and still take it no matter what Detail does here, unless Slaunch like quits the race and gets the penalty from that. That's like the only way he could lose this is by quitting the race. That's the only way. So so looking very very solid here for that redemption in this grand finals. Detail though still trying not to give up hope, competing for the first place, because that's what he's got to do. He has to even have a shot, he's got to win this Moto. So here he is driving around Hunter, and he's going to very quickly take the lead and try to hold on to that for the rest of this Moto because he needs to. Luch in third, sorry. Hunter in second, and Hunter looking like he might be that driver that I was predicting to have that solid finish that started in the back in the first Moto. Starting in the front now, I think Hunter might be that driver to look out for to actually have like a top 5 finish here. Roman and Opix getting scrappy. Real Deal as well. Pretty good battle right there, actually. That's for 4th place, 5th place as well, 6th place. So possibly Real Deal now going to work his way into the top 5. Opix falling out into that 6th place right now. We got so Roman and Real Deal right outside. Okay, so Real Deal's still looking. Yeah. Real Deal right now. Oh, spin out from Detail. This is a shakeup. Detail just loses the lead, not what you want to see out of him. Hunter back to the lead, and we'll have to see how Detail responds to this because, like I said, there's no other shot. Like, he has to win this no matter what. So you can tell he's probably going to be very aggressive behind Hunter here and try to take that back quickly. So he does maybe a crossover here. Not really, kind of a crossover. Ends up getting a big drive there. I don't know where that came from, but ends up getting like a faster gear shift or something than Hunter. And it looks like he's just going to retake the lead. I did not expect it that quickly, but it looks like Detail's just going to retake the lead over Hunter there. Now it's going to be Luke and Roman and possibly Real Deal as well. Hunter with a mistake, and that slows up the field so much. That's going to give Detail an even bigger buffer than last time, and Luke gets loose, and Roman spins out on the inside, and Real Deal goes out on the outside. This is just all tons of cheese right now in Moto 2. That's going to be Roman holding off. Okay, so let me think about this for a second. So, yeah, okay, I think Real Deal needs to get 4th place to lock up. Yeah. I think Real Deal needs to get 4th place in the scenario that Detail gets the win in this Moto. I think as long as Real Deal has 4th place or higher, then he will get the overall event win. Off the top of my head, I believe that's correct. So I didn't really do the math in my head. I just kind of thought about it, and I'm like, all right, I think that's what he needs to do. So this battle here between Roman and Real Deal is pretty big because if Real Deal takes over Roman, well, there you go. So if Real Deal holds on to his spot in front of Roman right now, then he will get the overall this event. Detail, if he wants a chance at winning the overall, he needs to rely on a big Real Deal choke. So Real Deal, as long as he stays in 4th place or higher in the scenario that Detail holds onto this, then Real Deal will have the overall. So Real Deal looking in to have a very good position at winning an overall in the grand final for him, which I think would be a good, especially since it's the last race of the grand final. I think that would be a good cap off to the whole season for Real Deal. Be a nice little send off for him because this has been his first like full season. And so in many ways, his rookie season really. I mean, he raced quite a bit last year, but he never got a full season in. So this is technically like his rookie season, and definitely his first full season. So yeah, I would say 100% his rookie season, and it's been pretty good. Where he got a 3rd place bronze medal in the regular season in points. That's obviously pretty good. Got 2 overall wins in the regular season. Got 3 moto wins. That's very solid. And if he ends it here with obviously the moto win in the first moto and gets overall in the grand final as well, very nice send off to the season. 5 minutes remaining, halfway through the timed segment of this moto. Man, it feels like it's going so fast. I feel like both of these motos have gone insanely fast. I'm trying to savor the end of season 5, man. Come on. Why are we going so quick? It's kind of annoying. But yeah, Real Deal, I would say he's a guy to look out for next season. I think he could be a legitimate, get some more consistency under him. I think the addition of motocross and rallycross will help him because if I recall correctly, I believe Real Deal did some of the rallycross stuff when it was in ORL. I'm not sure if he ever did Uncle Blake's rallycross stuff. I did a little bit of that. But I believe he did the ORL rallycross stuff. And he looked solid at Gridiron. At Gridiron, he looked very solid. Did not get the overall, but got 2nd overall and got a moto win. So looked very promising. So I think I think Gridiron coming back in particular, and MX in general playing a role in next season is going to help him. So yeah, definitely look out for Real Deal to be a championship contender next season. That bronze medal spot this season, next season I think he's going to take the heights a little bit higher. Especially the fact that there's a lot of GPs. There's a lot of GPs next. I think GP is the most is the type of track raced the most next season, which is going to benefit him for sure. So I think we'll see a lot of shakeups next season. Next season's going to be interesting, man. Let's focus on this race. I just want to talk about season 6 because it's so exciting. Hunter's still holding on. Holy crap! We are like 4 minutes through this, or 4 minutes left, and Hunter is still holding on strong to that 2nd place spot. Luke right behind him in the podium position. Real Deal in 4th, trying to hold on to that overall winner position. And Roman's still in 5th. Detail still holding on to that. Detail's ripped open a huge lead at this point. He is just looking gone at this point. Looking more like one of his regular season performances here. 3 minutes left. That is crazy. Hunter's doing a great job right now of holding on to that podium spot. I'm hoping he holds on to a top 5 at least because I want my bet to be correct. want one of those drivers to actually hold on. Oh, into the tree right there. And this is just getting insane. So I think it's safe to say at this point that Detail's got a solid lead. It's going to take something crazy like a Slaunch-esque crash. Even if he crashed exactly like Slaunch did, I think Detail would come back out with a lead. And Hunter makes the same mistake he did before, and that's going to allow Slaunch to gain a ton of room. Now he has potential of entering into this top 5, and that crash ironically benefited Hunter a ton. Look at that gap he's got now. And Real Deal sliding off the back of Luke there. They exited the corner. Very scary, but he's going to hold on to his 4th place spot. That's what he needed to do if he's going for this overall. That got very scary for him there for a moment. Not trying to lose that 4th place. I don't think he knows that 4th place is like the magic number, but definitely trying to hold on to that. I know that he knows that he's trying to get as high of a spot as possible. I don't think he knows 4th place exactly, so that makes it a little bit interesting. Hunter getting super loose, and oh man, how many spots is he going to lose? Oh no, outside of the top 5. Hunter goes from 2nd place to outside of the top 5 in one crash. That was just like last moto. Like the pack is so tight that can happen. 2nd place to 6th place, one crash. Insane. How tight the pack is. There you see Detail's lead. It's massive. There's Luke in 2nd. Can barely see Detail in front of him, I'm sure. Or maybe not at all. Like, he's got a huge lead. Real Deal now in podium spot. That's huge. That's huge. Because with Real Deal in the podium spot, he's ultra safe, I guess you could say. He's got an even more, an extra padded cushion, He's got He's got that solid airbag there, ready to smash in his face. That was a horrible analogy. Anyways, point is, he's got a bit of a safety net, kind of, because Roman and Slanch are really, really close to each other, and they're pretty close behind him as well. So if Real Deal makes a mistake, if he's gonna lose one spot, he's probably gonna lose both. So he's got kind of a safety net, but kind of not. He can't make any big mistakes here. As long as he doesn't make any huge, like, actual dismount mistakes, he'll be fine. His detail getting a little loose there, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, when there's 30 seconds remaining in the moto, and you have about a 20 goose length lead, you can afford to make it. You can afford to make quite a few mistakes in the neck camber and not really have to worry about it really. He could probably mess up the neck camber every single lap for the rest of this race, and he'd probably still have like a 10 goose length, maybe even a 15 goose length lead. It's just that ridiculous at this point. Real Deal going super inside on that corner, trying to make as many gains as possible. He's completely safe, by the way. He's completely safe. 3 laps to go for that overall, like I said, as long as he stays in his position. But like I said as well, don't think he knows that. Don't think he knows that. So you're going to see him go very, very hard here in the end, even though he doesn't really need to. He's, like, if you look at the results of last moto plus the heat race win as well, like, it's very obvious that Real Deal is safe here. But I don't know. He's not really thinking. He's more just racing at this point. He's trying to go ham. And just leave it all out on the track. And ending with a solid overall performance. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about next season, but ending with a solid overall performance on a GP. With next season, we're going to have more GP. We're going to have Rallycross, which he's experienced in. We're going to have Motocross, which he showed promise. Less ovals, a solid amount of Supercross. I really do think Real Deal has a solid shot at being like a main contender next season. So here we go. Only 2 laps remaining now, and he's making gains on Luke as well, trying to get that second place spot inverted from the first moto. Real Deal going really ham, trying to steal that spot. Again, he's completely safe right now. He doesn't need to play it too aggressive. He doesn't need to wreck himself, but he doesn't really know that. He's just going ham. So probably going to see even more of that, even more ultra dives here in the final lap, which we're coming to right now. White flag. Final lap remaining of Season 5, dude. Oh, my God. Like I said, it went by so fast. I thought I was going to savor the commentary a little bit, but, like, no, it's just going by. Season 6 update videos will be coming out soon, by the way. Just want to get that plug in there. Looks like Slanch has gotten by Roman at this point, so that's going to help him even more. Like I said, it's locked in anyways, but going to help him even more. Not very good for Roman, though. I mean, he, like I said, needs every little point he can get to have that, like, a good grand final. And I'm sure Detail is coming around the final corner right there. It looks like Luke should be able to hold off Real Deal, so we're going to take a look at it. Detail going to take his second moto win of the grand final. Him and Slanch both with the 2 moto wins in this grand final. Luke's going to hold on to that second place. Real Deal 3rd, Slanch 4th, Roman 5th, and Hunter in that 6th place spot. We're going to have the results on screen, and we're going to get to the point standings and the overall results as well in just a second here. Alright, so we get the overall results up on screen, and as you can see, like I said, Real Deal, very, very safe. Very safe. Going to take that overall victory. But at the same time, Detail coming in clutch with that moto win. That gave him a huge boost to the point where he actually gets the tiebreaker on Luke for 2nd overall. So that moto win gave him a huge boost right there. With a 4-1, able to beat out Luke, who had a 2-2. So just shows the amount of importance that there is to moto wins in this league. Moto wins give you a huge boost in the points, even in the overall event contention. And then let's go down a little bit. So we got the tie right there. So a tie right there for 2nd and 3rd. We got a tie as well for 4th and 5th, which Slanch is going to end up getting over Roman with that clutch pass in the 2nd moto. So he's going to get that 4th place overall. Roman with the 5th place overall. And then we have Hunter with 6th overall, Justice 7th, Fireball 8th, which is about as good as about as good as he could have done. 9th, Opix, and then obviously Blake, not really able to race it, going to finish out in 10th. So there you go, there's your overall results. Let's take a look at the point standings. So here, Slanch is going to be your HRL Season 5 Grand Finals champion, redeeming himself from many very close, like, Halo 5 Grand Finals have not been kind to him, but after a few flubs, finally able to do it here in Season 5 with the 93 points, a 7-point gap over Detail, which is pretty solid. not as close, still pretty close, but not as close as last grand final. And then Real Deal pretty, made it pretty close with Detail there at the end. Real Deal, I think the story for him, I mean, you can't really argue this with the stats, is just consistency. Like, he's got a little bit of everything in his stats. So Real Deal with that bronze medal in the regular season, bronze medal in the grand final as well, and a very solid grand final at that. Very impressed by him here. I think he's going to have high hopes going into the next season. Fireball with frickin' 4th place tiebreak. Fireball with finishing with a tiebreaker in the regular season and the grand finals. That's interesting. He's going to win this tiebreaker over Roman, which is hilarious. Doesn't get to race that second moto and somehow still finishes ahead of Roman. Well, tied with Roman, but technically ahead. And obviously Roman, the poor side of that tie, in 5th place. And the top 5 drivers, you can tell, all did well with how close their points were. Good performances for this grand final out of all 5 of those. Let me go on to the bottom 5. Justice, I think, is the person that you obviously have to be most impressed by. I did not expect him to get 6th place in points, but he did it, and he got a heat win as well. And he got a top 5 too. Like, that's insane. I expected Hunter to easily take this 6th place spot, but somehow Justice ekes it out, and I got to give him some credit. Very impressed by him in this grand final. Hunter with the 7th place. I was expecting him to do a little bit better, maybe around like the 65 point range, but still okay. Opix with the 8th place. I think what screwed him is the oval. He didn't do as good at the oval as I expected him. He didn't do as good as he should have at the oval. If he did better at Hollywood, I think he could have gotten that 60 point range as well. I think he could have easily had that 6th place finish, but it's not a good oval performance. Blake could have easily been that 6th place points finisher. I think he was actually having a pretty good grand finals for his first ever. And obviously not being able to race Twisted Circuit hurt him. I think he easily could have gotten 6th place if he got to race Twisted Circuit. All it would have taken was like a, maybe a 6th and a 7th or something like that. Like, not even that good of a finish to get him that 6th place spot over Justice. So Blake, kind of misleading with him in the 9th place spot. Like, he was still a very good grand final for him. Opix as well, because he had that lag out in the second moto of Hollywood. So just unfortunate circumstances for both of those drivers. I think they both could have done better. And then obviously you have Vulcan at the end there. Just, he's probably going to want to forget about this. Like, his best chance were the oval and the Supercross, and he didn't do as good as he needed to at either of those. I think those were both good opportunities for him as well. Like, he had a good first moto. He got a podium in the in the grand finals. That's good for him, obviously, grand final podium. But from that point on, it was kind of downhill. He needed to do really good at the Supercross, which I think he could have, and he didn't. He needed to do good in that second moto, get a good overall at the oval, which, again, I think was his best chance to get a good overall finish, and he didn't. So just a little bit of disappointment there, Vulcan. I'm sure he's disappointed as well. And I think he's going to come back with the fire next season and possibly next grand finals and go a little bit more ham. So sorry for the little, that was basically like HRL recap-esque at the end there. I think I'll go a little bit more in depth. So because we're already at 18 minutes, screw it. We might as well just fit in the frickin' recap to this video as well. So obviously Slaunch with the clutch 2 overalls. That was basically, the bonus points were clearly the difference maker for him because you got 2 overall bonus points, you got 3 bonus points from the heat wins. That's 5. Remove those, and it's a 2-point gap with details. So the bonus points were the story of his grand finals win for sure. Coming up clutch in that department. Detail and Slaunch, though, tied with the most moto wins this grand final with 2. That's pretty telling. That Detail, still showing that he was very good throughout the regular season, still very good in this grand finals, just not good enough. And then you look at the podium statistics. Detail and Slaunch both tied with the most as well, with both of them getting 4 podiums. However, Slaunch did get top 5 in every single moto, as well as Real Deal. Real Deal was the only other driver to do that, so that's very interesting. Fireball finishing ahead of Roman, which is crazy. If you look at the finishes, Roman with the 1 less podium, but 2 more top 5s. And a heat win, which Fireball didn't have, so I guess that moto win really helped Fireball out. The Supercross in general, I would say, really helped Fireball out. That was really good for him. He could have swept the Supercross, man. Like I was harping on it before, this could have been Fireball's 2 in a row, man. He was looking really good. Do I really have anything else to talk about? I mean, looking at the stats there, it's pretty much the story. So, hope you guys enjoyed the grand finals. It was a very good send-off to Season 5. I think this was probably one of the best. Screw it. I think this was the best grand finals yet. last season's had a better finish. I will admit that. The chaos and the drama of last season's grand finals finish was better. But overall, like just overall racing in the whole event, I think this was the best like complete package we had. Hollywood Moto 1, which was pretty good. Then we had the ending of Moto 2, which was one of the most insane endings to an oval race I've ever seen. We had the Supercross races, which had a lot of fun highlights, and had the drama of the fireball lag cheese. And the crazy Slaunch heat win, that was an awesome highlight. The crazy detail maneuver in the beginning of the first Supercross was a crazy highlight. First Supercross Moto, so those were just memorable. And then we go on to Twisted Circuit, which had great battles between Real Deal and Luke, really, throughout the entire night. They both had great battles, and that was fun to watch. Roman was always like just there, could have been a big factor, but just wasn't able to get it done. And yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say. Yeah, my biggest memory I would say from the GP was Real Deal's like two-wheel save. That was super intense, on the edge of my seat right there. So overall, I would say this grand finals is the best that we've had so far. So I'm really happy with it. I'm looking forward a ton to season 6's regular season and grand final. More on that soon, guys. And with that little teaser, I'm going to close out this video. See you later.